Your boy Rebel Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy. We're here to present you our NBA morning shoot around for Thursday, March 14th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This week, we'll watch all of our NBA, MLB, and NFL videos. If you haven't checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily Fanduel, and Draftkings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, what up, Jeremy? How you doing out there, bro?
Yo, man, what's up? What's good? How's your night going, NBA?
Hey, overall, it was a decent night. I mean, I almost broke even. A couple guys busted. It was a low-scoring night, man. It was a weird night in NBA for sure. How'd you do tonight, man?
You know what? I did really well, and I loaded up on Derek Favors. I told everybody on the NBA Live it was my gut feeling play of the day. Derek Favors, perfect pivot play off Draymond Green, almost equal in price, and Favors has 41 against Phoenix. Phoenix is playing well, man. I mean, they're not playing like it's not like, oh my God, Phoenix is playing unbelievable, but they're playing well enough to compete.
They're playing
with price, and they're playing hard, right? So I mean, they're in basketball games, and I just had a gut feeling with Favors, man. I rolled the gut feeling, and the dude paid off in a major way. I think a lot of guys were leveraged on Draymond, and anytime you get a lower on play, 8% in tournaments is what Favors was, and the guy gives you 41, you'll take that all day long.
For sure. Yeah, shooting guard was a crazy position tonight. That was everybody was just tonight for the most part at the shooting guard spot. That's the one that really, really killed me tonight. And I expected a little bit more from Draymond. Draymond kind of he had a whatever night. But overall, it is what it is. Move on to tomorrow. Real quick, before we do jump into this slate and kind of get going, you want to kind of quickly give everybody the kind of update on what we got going on with the site and what we got going on in general, real quick?
You know what? Let's get into the slate, bro, because I'm not seeing enough people up in here yet for me to just give something away. So we can break this thing down, and we'll see where we're at when we get into the video. But I'm not seeing enough people in the chat or watching us live right now to just give something away. So
sure. Hey, well, let's just jump into this slate then and kind of see where we're at. So real quick before we do, if you guys don't mind, please take a quick second, click that like button down below for me. Helps me out. Really appreciate that from you guys. And yeah, man, so let's just jump right into it then. So the first game we're going to go with is going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder going into Utah to face the Pacers. This game has a 220.5 over under. Indiana's favored by 1 in this one.
On a back-to-back, so let's roll out let's get the narrative out of the way from jump. 10,000. Paul George going against his former team, the Indiana Pacers, in Indiana. He played them last year in Indiana, I believe. So it's not like this is his first time back, but there is, the narrative is always there. So the first thing you have to point out, though, is not the narrative. That's not the biggest thing here. It's his price, 10,000. I mean, 10,000 for Paul George. The guy goes off for 50 tonight. That's 5X all day long. So I really think that Paul George – last year when he went in there, it seemed like he tried to force it, like he tried to just go off, and he missed a lot of shots, and it wasn't a good game for him. I think now he's going to go back there, and I think he is going to go off. Russell Westbrook, 11-3, 6-game slate. I definitely think you could load him up. Jeremy Grant at 5.5, very playable as well. And then, look, Steven Adams at 6.7. I'm not going to play Adams here because of the fact that Miles Turner is a lot bigger person as far as a human being than people think he is. And, Miles Turner blocks a lot of shots. He clogs up the lane. He gets offensive and defensive rebounds. So I'm going to stay away from Adams, but I do like Grant and Westbrook as well as Paul George, and I also like Schroeder off the bench.
Yeah, man, for sure. On the Pacers side of things, there's a couple guys that we could look at. The couple guys that I think are in play, you could look at Miles Turner, Thaddeus Young. Both of the big guys are getting their consistent run in the 30-minute range. And I think that, on the second end of a back-to-back, I think that, the Thunder, they could possibly be a little bit sluggish. And the big guys could get some offensive rebounds, putbacks. I like both of those guys. I think that they're both in solid spots. Carlson's playing very, very well. When this team does well, it's usually because Carlson is playing well. I think he's a GPP play, 7.1. I'm not going to be playing no Wesley Matthews. Bogdanovich is not the best matchup against Paul George, and his price tag's up. The only other guy I'm really going to be looking at, well, two guys you could consider. You could look at Sabonis. He's really in that 3-man rotation we always talk about, where he comes in at power forward, then he'll move to center. And so he gets his 25, 26 minutes. He has GPP upside as well as Corey Joseph as long as Tyreek Evans is out. But that's really where I'm at with the Pacers.
Look, the one thing I'm going to say about Indiana here is that the narrative in this game to me, beyond Paul George, obviously going back, is centers and big men against Oklahoma City. You see Steven Adams, the guy's a beast. He takes up space. But look, Jeremy Grant is not a real power forward type body. They struggle against centers. They struggle against power forwards. Look at what Ed Davis and Karukas did tonight for Brooklyn. That's been the narrative that I've played over the last 3 weeks. You can play big men again. And Miles Turner, I think you nailed it with Miles Turner and Thaddeus Young. Miles Turner is one of my favorite players on the slate.
For sure, bro. Moving on. Next game we're going to go with is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers going into Orlando to face the Magic. This game, we don't have an over-under, but we do have a Vegas line, and Orlando is favored by 8, even though they are on the second end of a back-to-back.
Well, I mean, it's Cleveland, right? So that let's get that out the way first. So
they've been playing pretty hard too, though. You talk about, the Suns.
Absolutely. And I think one thing that's helped them is their rotation is short, right? And guys know who. I think anytime you coach, so you know this too. Anytime that the players have a defined role and they know what it is, they play a lot harder than when everybody's confused and doesn't know when they're going to play or how many minutes they're going to get, etc. And with all these injuries, guys have defined roles. So we'll see what happens with Larry Nance as a game-time decision. Tristan Thompson's also a game-time decision. Every time I think somebody's going to sit out and I say that, they end up playing, so I'm not going to say that about Thompson. But, I mean, look, we know the rotation will get really short with all these guys out. Jordan Clarkson, he's been kind of a chalky play recently. But, look, Brandon Knight, his price finally went up to 4.3. And, depending on who's going to be out tomorrow, you could probably still play him. 25 fantasy points at a 3.5 the other night against Philadelphia. Colin Sexton, to me, you watch this Cleveland team play. I have watched them a lot. I've been on Cleveland, as you know, for like the past week and a half. So Colin Sexton, to me, very high usage. The minutes are there, and the guy's ultra aggressive. When he's on the floor, which is a lot, he's pretty much their primary option. I look for him, Jetty Osman, and Kevin Love to be the primary guys tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Hey, really, Brandon Knight though, he's due. Pretty soon he's gonna have one of those 40 fantasy point games. It's coming for sure.
It's absolutely coming. The guy's coming off a torn ACL, and look, he got out of Phoenix. He's a baller. He was a baller. Yeah. He's been a baller.
For sure. So on the Magic side of things, I'm not trying to cop out, but I really legitimately think you could consider all 5 starters. Augustine, you could possibly look at in cash games. Even Vucevic, 10.5, he gives you a really solid floor. Isaac, Gordon, Fournier, you can look at all of them in GPP. Going on the bench, you can consider Terrence Ross. He's a guy that's very streaky, but he does get hot and have upside. But all 6 of those guys are definitely in play against Cleveland. It should be a pretty high-scoring game for sure.
Yep.
And I like Vucevic a lot, man. I like him a lot. Moving on, next game we're going to go with, it's going to be the Sacramento Kings going into Boston to face the Celtics. This game, we don't have an over-under yet, but we do have a Vegas line. Boston's favored by 8 at home.
Yeah, look, I'm glad I got Sacramento here instead of Boston. You know how I feel about Sacramento, and I think that you got guys who are finally priced back to earth. And look, I think that one thing I didn't say about Cleveland is that some of those guys, their prices have caught up. I thought Cleveland was a team I've targeted over the past week and a half because their prices hadn't changed. Sacramento's a team whose prices got inflated. They've come back to earth, and they're really, really fair price. Buddy Hield playing out of his mind in the month of February and March so far. Look, he had a very bad game against Washington in a chalk spot. Recency bias will keep his ownership low because he burned people, and anytime that happens, people are hesitant. You, my friend, I love you to death, but you are one of them. Like, if a guy burns you, you're the first guy to say, fuck that guy, I ain't putting him in. You're the first guy. So, like, to me, you're the definition of recency bias. This dude is going to go off again. 6.8 is way too fair price for what he's done this season, and especially in the last month and a half. Bogdan Bogdanovic, if he's going to start, the thing to pay attention to here is Marvin Bagley. He's a game-time decision tomorrow. If he's going to return at 6.5, It'll be about minutes. If he's going to get no minutes limit on him, then it'll impact some Harrison Barnes. It'll impact some Willie Cauley-Stein. But if he's going to be out again, I think Giles, Belitza, Willie Cauley-Stein, Harrison Barnes, they're all in play.
Yeah, man. On the Celtics side of things, it's tough. They got kind of a logjam going on right now. Jason Tatum is expected to come back tomorrow, so he should be back in the start lineup, putting Jaylen Brown back on the bench. Marcus Smart is a game-time decision with the illness. We got to wait on that news. If he's in, then like we say, it's a logjam. We got a lot of guys. If Marcus Smart is out, then I expect Jaylen Brown to kind of stay in the starting lineup at the shooting guard spot, 5,000. He would be a really, really good play. So we got to wait on that news. But I really think that you can play, Horford and GPPs. Marcus Smart, 5,000. He's a fair price tag. Kyrie, Kyrie's giving you a really, really solid floor. On the bench, Hayward's still a fair price at 5,000. You need 25 for value. He's playing high 20 minutes, and he has some upside. So Hayward's somebody you can look at off the bench. Rozier's a little bit too expensive for me. That's really where I'm at. I just think that, all of them you can play. I'm not really crazy about any one of them unless Marcus Smart or Tatum is, ruled out after all. Then you probably go after a guy like Brown, Marcus Smart, Kyrie Irving. They all get boosts.
The funny thing about this is this game just happened, I think, last Friday, right?
Right.
It just happened in Sacramento, and Kyrie Irving was going to be the chalkiest of all plays, and then an hour before Lockheed scratch. So Jason Tatum will play tomorrow. I'm like 99% sure he's expected to play practice today, the whole 9 yards. So he'll go back in the starting lineup. Jaylen Brown to the bench. But the one to watch is Marcus Smart. Obviously he's got an illness, missed practice today. So I love Kyrie Irving here, dude. Love Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun game. It's going to be an up and down game. There's just a lot of bodies to go around. Moving on, next game we're going to go with is going to be the Los Angeles Lakers going into Toronto to face the Raptors. This game has a 231 over-under, and Toronto's favored by 10 at home.
Look, LeBron James is playing really, really good basketball. Really good basketball. He's almost averaging a triple-double since he's returned from his injury. I don't care that he's capped at minutes. If you've watched the last two games, he played 27 minutes against Boston right after they announced the 27 to 32 minutes limit. He goes 30, 10, and 12 in 27 minutes, 57 fantasy points. His price is down $500 from the other night against Chicago. Can you load this guy up and play him in this spot? Abso-freaking-lutely you can. All day long. He'll be a great tournament play. He should be a leverage play because I think people will fade LeBron and his $11,000 price tag, one with the minutes limit, and two because of Kawhi Leonard's defense. But that does not scare me in the least bit, especially in tournaments. Rajon Rondo, I'll take – if Kyle Lowry's out, I think you load him up because now you're looking at, Patrick McCaw probably starting. And I'll take Rajon Rondo all day long. I think the Lakers are going to compete in this game. I really do. The Raptors have struggled a little bit, recently. They're not rolling on all cylinders like they were. We know Ibaka is suspended. So they're from a depth standpoint, OG Anunoby, Norman Powell, Patrick McCaw, those guys could be in play tomorrow. And if they are, the Lakers can play with them. They can. I think the Lakers can turn the pace up, and I think Kuzma's in play at 6'5", coming off a really big game against Chicago, 37 fantasy points. I don't think this is going to be the starting lineup tomorrow, the projected starting lineup that we're showing. I think this changes.
Yeah, man, on the Raptors side of things, there's four guys that I absolutely love tomorrow going against the Lakers. First guy, Noah Ibaka. You got to love Marc Gasol. He's going to play 30-plus minutes. He's going to get a ton of run in this spot. Going against the Lakers who struggle against big men, 6,500. I think Marc Gasol is one of the top plays at center tomorrow. Great price, and I think this could be a spot where you can absolutely crush and be like kind of like the breakout game, with, like I said, with no backup. So I like Marc Gasol a lot. Same thing with Siakam. They usually have the three-man rotation with Ibaka in there. Ibaka's out. Siakam's already playing a ton of minutes. I think he's a really, really good play as well. The price tag is up, though. It's a fair price tag. Kyle Lowry's game-time decision is looking like he's going to play tomorrow. If he's out tomorrow, I think that the premier play if Kyle Lowry is out tomorrow, in my opinion, is Jeremy Lamb. Jeremy Lamb's already getting a bunch of run.
Jeremy Lin.
I'm sorry, Jeremy Lin. Sorry about that. He's already playing minutes, 22, 23 minutes a game. And if you get no Lowry, then I think that, you can see him getting close to 30 minutes in this spot. Even if he comes off the bench, I definitely think he's probably the most purest point guard that they have, outside of Lowry. 3,500 bare minimum price tag, and this guy has 35 fantasy point upside. So I really, really like him if Kyle Lowry is out tomorrow. And then you can also look at Kawhi Leonard. He's under 10,000. He's obviously going to step up to the matchup against LeBron. He's going to want to play well. All the talk about, Kawhi was supposed to go to the Lakers before this, and he may go over the summer. I think this is the spot he's going to play well, and I like Leonard, and he gets a little bit more of a boost if Lowry's out, so that's some stuff that we definitely got to watch. Looking on the bench, I mean, you mentioned it. You can look at an OG Anunoby or a Powell. We got to kind of wait on some news with that. But I think the main guy for me off the bench is going to be Jeremy Lin tomorrow. And that's really where I'm at with the Raptors.
I got to tell you something. This is a Danny Green game for me because the guy's a very good defender. He fills up the stat sheet, steals, assists, can knock down threes. He'll rebound for you. The Lakers, that's a perfect play. It's like a Tony Allen play, right? Danny Green against a sloppy team that turns the ball over, that takes a ton of jump shots, there's a lot of long rebounds. I like Danny Green a lot. And then let me just say this, bro. If you're telling me right now that if Kyle Lowry's out tomorrow, that I'm going to get OG Anunoby, I'm going to get Norman Powell, I'm going to get 30 minutes from Jeremy Lin, I'm taking LeBron James all day long. I'm going to go on the other side of this where I think people could load up on value, and that could be the chalky way to go tomorrow. I agree with you on Gasol, but if you're telling me I'm going to get LeBron playing against those guys tomorrow, load up LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it is. I mean, Jeremy Lin for me, Danny Green, though, I just can't get behind it. The minutes have been down. Jeremy Lin's been kind of really, really eating into his minutes. But if Lowry's out, he's going to probably get an uptick in minutes close to 30. So, like I said, there's a lot depending on Kyle Lowry tomorrow. But moving on, next game we're going to go with, it's going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves going into Utah to face the Jazz. We don't have an over-under yet, but this is the second end of a back-to-back. The Jazz play tonight. Utah is favored by 10 in this game as well at home.
Game time decision, game time decision, game time decision, game time decision. So 4 guys on a game time decision here. I don't know. Look, I can tell you this. Dario Saric, Okogie, Taj Gibson, Keita Bates-Diop, those guys will be in play in a major way if all of these guys are ruled out. Karl Anthony Towns just played, so I don't see him being ruled out in this one. I understand the game time decision designation. Let's see what happens with the knee after he played in the game. But I fully expect Towns to play. Teague set out the other night. We'll see what happens. This is a wait on news situation.
Yeah, on the Jazz side of things, it's kind of a wait-and-see approach as well, just because, if the Timberwolves have their main guys, it's going to be a competitive game. And, second end of a back-to-back for a Jazz, it can maybe be a little sluggish. And like I said, it could be competitive. But if all those guys are ruled out, especially Karl Anthony Towns, who's been playing so well, then, this game is probably going to get ugly quickly. Rudy Gobert is a really, really good play. Derek Favors as well. You called it tonight, and he had a really, really solid game as well. This is a spot where he can have a good game. Honestly, I think that you can look at all the starters. One thing that I will say is Royce O'Neal is going to go back to the bench, and they will put Ricky Rubio back in the starting lineup. And then Donovan Mitchell, 9.8. I don't know if I'm paying that much for Donovan Mitchell. He's a guy, I'll pay 8,500, maybe 9,000. But when he starts to get to 10,000, where you need 50 pretty much for value, it's a tough call for me. So that's the one I don't know about. But I think that Gobert, Favors, Ingles are really good plays. And then even Ricky Rubio, if he's going to get back to his 30-minute mark that he regularly plays, 6,000, low revenge narrative. Remember, he used to play for the Wolves before coming to the Jazz, so you got that low revenge narrative. I think you could throw that in play. Crowder, I don't know what's going to go on with the minutes with him, with everybody kind of getting healthy again. So, yeah, man, Utah really, it's Gobert, Favors, Ingles, all GPP plays. And that's really where I'm at, man.
Keep it pushing.
Next game we're going with is going to be Dallas Mavericks going into Denver to face the Nuggets. This game has a 220 over-under. Denver's favored by 11 in this one at home.
Surprise, surprise. Doncic's a game-time decision again. I mean, this guy's a game time decision every single night, right? That they're on the slate. So look, let's see what happens with Doncic. Fully expect the guy to play. I wouldn't expect a breakout game here from Doncic, but I will say this: he's a mismatch as a point guard against Jamal Murray, Will Barton, Gary Harris. I don't think you're going to see Paul Millsap guard this guy. He's not athletic enough, and he's obviously not going to play against Jokic. So Doncic does have a mismatch offensively, but outside of that, this is a top defensive team in the league in Denver, top 2 seed in the West right now. I don't really want any kind of exposure to Dallas tomorrow. I mean, I just don't – I can't make a case, so I'm just going to move on.
Yeah, on the Denver side of things, I mean, once again, you can look at the same guys we always look at. Pretty much all 5 of their starters are on play. Jokic, he's going to be low owned tomorrow, in my opinion. I think he hasn't been – I mean, he's been playing decent, but he hasn't been filling up the stat sheet. But I think this is a spot there he can have a really, really good game. If they're going to try to start Powell at center going against Jokic can absolutely dominate that matchup. Paul Millsap, 6,900. You know, he's consistent. He's been playing very, very well. I think he's a decent play. Jamal Murray, the price tag is up now, 7.7. I mean, he's really, I mean, he's been playing very well. He's been shooting the ball very well, scoring the ball. You know, GPP, though, just because the price tag 7.7, I don't know if he's the guy I really want to go with on this slate at point guard. Will Barton, Gary Harris, both of them definitely in play. Both of them give you a really solid floor. Gary Harris is starting to really play well again. 4.9, still too cheap of a price tag for him with his minutes kind of starting to trend back up. I like Gary Harris and Will Barton. I think they're probably my favorite 2 plays. You know, for the Nuggets, you know, going on the bench, you can look at Mason Plumlee. He even gets a little bit more of a bump if Trey Lyles is out again tomorrow. He's a game time decision right now. Outside of that, I mean, I don't know. They got kind of a logjam at the backup shooting guard and point guard spots with Isaiah Thomas, Beasley, Morris. I'm not really interested in those guys. I mean, the main guys for me are really just Barton, Harris, and then the other guys are GPPs.
Those are the 2 guys I actually like. This game to me is close to a full fade because I just think that this is going to get out of hand. This is a really good defensive team and a really bad offensive team. We've seen Dallas be blown out by lesser teams. So this is a tough one to target. I do like Monte Morris and Malik Beasley for the fact that I think this game gets out of hand and those guys get some extra fourth quarter run on top of their regular rotational minutes. One thing I'm going to answer for Say Less, since he's asking about Cat, 58, 56, and 43 in the 3 games he's played against Utah this year. So it's going to be about him playing or not. The guy can put up close to 60 fantasy points against this Utah team and Rudy Gobert. He's done it before. So that's that.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, man, that's really where we're at. You know, 6 games kind of wrapped up. Did you kind of want to do that, or you want to save that for tomorrow?
All right, so
what do you got going?
We'll do it right now. We'll do it right now. So for those of you who are on right now and watching us, this is your shot.
You might as well extend it till the morning.
No, I'm going to give it to these 10 people, these 10 guys who stuck with us right now. They're going to get it, and then the morning when we have, I'll do something else. But we're going to give away basically give away our MLB luxury box package. So it's regularly $300 for the entire season. If you buy VIP membership and you stay with us for the 6 months of MLB, that's going to cost you $360 right now until midnight Pacific. So you got about an hour and 35 minutes. $100 for the entire MLB season, and we will give you access to NBA for the rest of the NBA season, which will give you access to our cash game lineups for both Draftkings and Fanduels. All you got to do is go to the website, click memberships, go to MLB Luxury Box in the drop down, enter code MLB100. MLB100 when you check out. $100 for the next 7 months on our site. It's going to cost you $100. You're not going to find a better deal anywhere else. Complete access to the optimizer, all of the content we have, which that's another announcement we're going to make right now as well. The content's going to move. The majority of our content, the written content you guys have been viewing for the last week, is going to move to the member area only, the premium VIP and luxury box area. So that $100 right now, MLB 100.
Yeah, man. So, hey, good deal. A lot of really, really good things going on the site. Very exciting times. Join the money team. Don't miss out. So, hey, that's all we got for you guys. 6 games knocked out. Time to move on.
The 1,000 people that are going to watch this video in the morning, sorry.
Hey, it is what it is. Hey, but good luck on your guys' contest tomorrow. If we don't talk to you guys before then, hey, that's all I got. Peace out.